A new shared Dokkan Festival exclusive is on its way. But should you summon? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are looking at the upcoming shared Dokkan Festival exclusive Android 21, coming to both Global and JP Dokkan in just about 24 hours. And we are answering that age-old question: should you summon? As always, in order to answer this question, we are going to take a look at the following things. Number one, the unit itself. Is the unit good enough to justify a summon? Number two, we'll look at her banner, at least what we anticipate to be on her banner, and determine whether or not that is worthy of your summon. Is what's on the banner good enough for you? Should you pull someone else besides her on the banner? And then finally, we'll take a look at what lies ahead. Should you choose to summon for Android 21, what might you be giving up in the future? So let's go ahead and let's hop in here and let's take a look at the unit itself. What is she doing? So she is in Android's Majin Power Peppy Gals, category key 3, HP attack and defense 170%, with an additional attack and defense 30% for characters also belonging on Power Absorption, Transformation Boost, and Crossover category. She has attack and defense 150%. She gets all allies key 2, and additional attack and defense 120% when attacking, and a high chance of evading enemies' attack within the same turn. So it has been confirmed that yes, her dodge is post super, like I was thinking. So a little bit scary there, right? She's definitely a slot 2, slot 3 unit, or at least slot 1 if there's no attack there. But she's also got an additional key 2 and attack 60% for 3 turns after that evasion kicks off. So the next couple of turns, she'll have some more attacks. After that, she launches an additional attack that has a 50% chance of becoming a super attack. She launches another additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack that is 70% for the turn in which she performs the third attack. So, like, if turn 2, she manages to launch 3 supers, right? So, or even turn 1, right? Like, if you proc her normal super, then you proc her additional super, then you proc her hidden potential super, you have a possibility of launching a 4th attack there that has a 70% chance to become a super. So she can build up pretty quickly, right? And then finally, she also disables the enemy's action within the turn that she performs the 6th attack in battle. So you're probably not seeing this too often, especially because you'll probably transform before you see it, but we'll talk about that here in a second. So she does have a transformation condition that can be activated from the 5th turn from the start of battle. Once she transforms, she becomes Android 21 transformed good, and now she recovers 30% HP. She has attack defense 210%. She gives all allies key 2 and gets an additional key 2 and attack defense 121% when attacking. She reduces damage received by 21% and gets an additional defense 60% within the same turn after receiving an attack. She launches 2 additional attacks, each of which has a great chance of becoming a super attack. That is a 70% chance, and recovers 21% HP when 60% or less. She does have an active skill that massively raises attack, causes ultimate damage, and disables the action for the turn, as well as providing attacks effective against all types for her. On her super attack, this is really important, that she does recover 5% HP with every attack. So she's doing a lot here once transformed, and so you're not really seeing this till turn 5, right? But once you get it, you got a lot going on for you, right? You are healing, you've got a lot of attack and defense. She's still a slot 2 or slot 3 unit, right? Don't go throwing her in slot 1, but she is really good, right? She provides healing support for her teams, which, I mean, is a really good thing, right? You think that, like, she's on Rosé's team, for example, and so when you think Dragon Ball heroes, they typically have low HP and not a whole lot of ways to recover. A unit like this, who is also on Crossover, provides a lot of HP recovery for said team. So definitely a lot, this is definitely very helpful in that area, right? She also provides the first 200% leaders for, like, AGL Super Boo and, like, STR Super Boo, right? So she's definitely very, very good. But I mean, it's one of those units that is good, definitely better than most of the other Dokkan Fests that have released this year. It's just poor timing, right? As a global player, or even JP, you've got a couple big things coming up on the horizon. We're going to talk about those in a second. So, I would say, as an evaluation of the unit, I would put her as a summon for the unit, right? If you were someone who is interested in Android 21, she will be worth your stones if you invested in her, right? You are not losing anything by pulling for this unit. She is good. She's helpful for the teams that she's on. She got a lot of good partners, right? You know, this guy is probably due up for an EZA, and there's a chance he could be EZA in there in this celebration. Her banner unit is a great partner. She's getting a free-to-play unit, EZA, which has got a great partner. She's a great partner for Hearts on the Heroes team. You know, she's got a lot going on for her. The STR Super Boo, right, on her links pretty well with her. So, I mean, she's going to provide a lot to the teams that she's on. But of course, we don't just care about her. Who else is going to be on her banner, and does that make it worth our summon? Well, since this is the first Dokkan Fest that is shared outside of a major celebration, we honestly have no idea who's going to be on our banner, but we could take some best guesses. We already know we're going to have her banner unit here, the Evil 21. There's a good chance Android 13 may be on the banner if he is to EZA. He may also have his own banner. We'll have to see. And we'll also have the return of, on JP, this guy will probably make his first return here. On Global, Kale, Dokkan Fest Kale will probably make her first return for Global, because she's the only one that hasn't returned yet for us. Or STR 17 and 17. They might drop him and then switch Kale into Trunks' banner, which honestly would make Trunks' banner a little more valuable. So there's a possibility. So knowing that those are kind of the more or less guaranteed units, I mean, the banner's not going to be too terrible, but again, for JP, it's definitely not very enticing. I know there's, you know, unless you're a big Super Trunks fan, there's not a whole lot going on there for you, right? AGL 13, I mean, even if EZA ends up being really good, you know, I mean, I wouldn't go out of your way to get him as an EZA unit. As well as the possibility of Kale. Kale's very restricted, right, for us global players, right? Kale's very restricted to Universe 6, which does kind of hurt her a little bit, unless you've got the LR, AGL, Kale, and Caulifla. So, I mean, I don't know that her banner is going to be that great. But again, this is just speculation. I could be completely wrong, but based on my guess, I'm going to go ahead and just say that maybe not so much in the category of the banner. I can't imagine they put anything too stellar knowing what has to return on this banner. They could surprise us, but I think knowing the likely returns, there's not going to be anything too great there. But, you know, we shall see. Moving on from there, we also have to consider what comes next, right? If you decide to summon on this banner, no matter what's on it, what are you giving up in the future? Well, first and foremost, we have one of two banners coming to Global next, so we'll focus on Global because, you know, JP could be anything. All right, on Global in the where is it? Right here. Right, the very next thing after this banner we're going to see is a Carnival double rates. Now, it could be the Omega Shenron, he is due up, or we could be seeing another shared double rates banner, and this is likely to show up around the 14th or 15th of December. That is typically when this double rates banner drops, so if it is Omega, this is what you're likely to see. I still have a sneaking suspicion that this STR Goku will be replaced with both Kai Goku and Gohan, right? So it won't be either one of these. It'll be Kai Goku and Kid Gohan, because Global missed their chance for return. And, I mean, unless there's some secret Carnival banner in February, this is the likely place to do it. Otherwise, we're waiting all the way to the anniversary for it, and I don't think they want to do that. So if it is Omega, we can probably see that coming here. If not, it's an entirely new Carnival banner that is shared. We have done shared double rates banners in December's before, right? Gohan being the prime example, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. So, you know, we shall see what happens, but it will be a double rates banner, just know that. That part is pretty much a guaranteed. After that, on Christmas Day, we should see this banner dropping on Global Dokkan. Now, don't recommend you summon, but maybe you're somebody who missed out on the anniversary and you've got a ton of souls saved up. This may be the place for you, as this is going to be a place for you to once again get the Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku, but also the 8-year anniversaries if you missed out on them. The banner will likely have discounts, it will likely have free summons, and it will give us rainbow tickets and all kinds of other crazy things, as well as premium tickets. So, I mean, if you're someone who missed out on the 8th anniversary units, this probably something you should consider. I don't always recommend summoning on this, but I mean, the anniversary units are pretty useful, so something worthy of note. After that, at the end of the year, we will be getting the New Year's Step Up, right? So whatever you summon here is going to be taken away from your New Year's Step Up, right? So this was last year's Step Up. It began with a Dokkan Festival Extreme and Super Easy A, then a guaranteed Old School LR from the first generation. Then you had your next step, right? This is this was like the 21 the 2021 DFEs. So, right, if we started at step 1, 20 stones, you're getting one of these guys. Step 3, for 30 stones, you're getting one of these guys. Step 3, for 50 full stones, you were getting a 2021 DFE. Now, once we get into step 4, that was these guys here. I imagine this pool is going to be dropped into the first slot along with this guy. So that first slot is probably going to be pretty big, but then these guys are going to move into that step 3, and step 4 is going to be the 2020 to 2023 DFEs, right? Followed by a final step at 50 stones, totaling in 200 stones total for a guaranteed LR. This one went all the way up to Future Gohan. So this, for this year, it will probably, I'll do a full breakdown of this banner as we approach it, but this one will probably go all the way up to LR Super Buu, if we're lucky, Triku, right? But know that this is basically 200 stones and you're guaranteed a bunch of stuff. So as a new player, there is some value here. Maybe not so much as a veteran player, but I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to change this up this year, and I will be doing a video later on that I go more in depth on my thoughts on this, but they're definitely going to have to add some value, because really, even as a newer player, basically these two steps are your only place of value. Here is just kind of filler with a few exceptions, like at the time, this guy, right, and a few others still had some use. Even Future Gohan still got some use here. So just know that if you choose to summon on Android 21 and you're someone who needed this New Year's Step Up, you are giving up that. There is also the possibility of a shared New Year celebration. We have no idea what that could be, but last year it was LR Gohan and LR Piccolo, so something worthy of consideration. After that, for January, we will be seeing one of 3 Dokkan Fests. We will be seeing the Dokkan Fest Androids, the Dokkan Fest Super Trunks, or STR Gohan and Piccolo. One of these 3 will show up in January, February, and then March, right? That's pretty much how it's going to roll out. So, not sure the order right now, but know that they are coming. So if you're interested in one of these 3 characters, you may want to consider holding off, especially if Android 21 is not something you're interested in, right? Like, these guys, definitely better than Android 21 in my opinion. So, like, you may want to consider saving up for these guys, even if they are in, like, February or something. Super Trunks as well. Like, for me, I'm probably skipping 21 because I want to save for this guy and his possibility of his showing up in January. So, just something worthy of consideration. The last consideration I wanted to throw out for things coming ahead is the Super Dragon Ball Heroes banner is here until the 6th. And if I'm being completely honest, 21's going to come back at some point in the early 2024. These guys are never going to be featured again. They go into the unfeatured pools, heroes pool, and your chance of getting them gets lower and lower every year. So if you're someone who's not at a minimum pulled the Vegito, I'm going to go ahead and throw out here that you may want to throw some stones here for this guy instead. That may be a bigger value for you in the long run, just considering he's going to be far more exclusive as time goes on. So, I mean, in terms of what lies ahead, I can't really give it my full summon, right? There's a double rates on its way, there's the New Year's Step Up, and this banner still, to me, holds a little more value. So even if 21 is kind of good, I do think what lies ahead provides slightly more value, especially if there ends up being a shared New Year's celebration. celebration. So we've got 1 in the category for the character. The character is good and definitely worthy of stones if you pull her. We got a no-go in the category for the banner because I don't really think there's much they can add to the banner that will provide some insane value that makes the banner justifiable. And then finally, unfortunately, I have a no-go in what lies ahead. There's just too much on the way to global, and with the possibility of a shared New Year's, the possibility of a shared double rates, plus Tanabata coming up, I just don't know that summon here is going to be any more worth what you can expect anywhere else. So with that, guys, that is our video. If you liked our video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know what is your plan for Android 21. Do you plan on summoning, or do you agree with my recommendation of no summon on this banner? I don't typically give no summon, but knowing that the New Year's step up is around the corner, a shared New Year's celebration, and possibly some other things on the horizon, it may be best to wait. So I would love to hear what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. I don't give a no summon very often, but unfortunately this is just one of those times. She came at a really bad time for us global players, unfortunately, coming right off the back of Heroes. So guys, that's it for the video. If nothing else, thanks for watching, and aloha.